Okay, technological change and skill demand. A large manufacturing company is planning to automate a significant portion of its production line. This will increase efficiency but also could eliminate jobs requiring repetitive tasks. As we were even discussing in question one, where in the long run, companies start finding ways to automate their workflows. So they're finding a way to replace people with machines. Because usually that increases efficiency. So, discuss the potential impact of automation on the demand for specific skills in the manufacturing industry. So, in simple words, the impact of this automation is going to reduce the demand for labor. Okay, labor demand is going to reduce. Why? Because since there's a machine that can do the work of many people and it's more efficient than a human worker. Companies will want that machine. And if you have that machine, what's the point of keeping the same workers you had earlier on? Okay. Remember in the old days when how they used to assemble cars, people stand in line, the car parts are coming, people do this, put in this part, people do that. As the car is moving along the assembly line until it's finished. Now there are robots that do that. So if you go to the modern assembly line, there will be few workers there. It's robots that have replaced people's work. Even today's day and age, AI is also going to replace people's jobs. Okay. And one effect of this is going to be structural unemployment. Okay, colleagues? Remember the word structural unemployment, where your skills are no longer needed in the industry. Okay. So you find in the assembly line, those people who used to assemble cars, they were no longer needed because there are robots that are doing their jobs, and most car manufacturers started buying those robots or that technology. So it means those people who had the skills of assembling cars have got no jobs, and no, you find no car manufacturer is hiring them because they're all getting the new technology. So you have structural now unemployment. Okay. So the two things that happen here, demand for labor is going to drop. Okay, for these specific skills. And structural unemployment is going to come in because those skills are not going to be needed anymore. Okay, so as we can read the formal answer here. Okay. Automation changes the type of skills required in the manufacturing industry. It reduces the demand for workers who perform routine and repetitive duties. Have you seen? The demand for these workers drops. Okay. For jobs such as packaging, sorting, basic assembly, and machine feeding. Okay, these are some of the jobs which have been replaced by technology over the years. Okay. The demand for manual workers with limited technical skills may therefore fall. Okay. Yes. And some workers may lose their jobs or have their working hours reduced. So the at least if your working hours are reduced, but it means you'll be getting now lower pay. Okay, you'll be getting lower pay. But for others, they'll lose their jobs. Okay, but also another important thing happens because sometimes this new technology it cannot run also by itself. It's always going to need some specialists who can work on this technology or this machinery. Okay. So automation increases the demand for workers with technical and digital skills. Okay. So those skills where you can run machines in an assembly line or in a packaging line, those people who have got those skills, demand for those skills are going to come in. Okay. So an old skill will stop being needed, the manual labor of the workers, and a new skill is going to be needed. So demand for the manual labor drops and demand for the technical skilled labor is going to increase. Okay. Yeah. So therefore, automation does not remove all employment. It mainly changes the type of labor required. Demand moves away from routine skills, those people who used to do the machines work, towards advanced technical, digital, and management skills. To those people now who will be running those machines. Okay. So, as I mentioned, structural unemployment is going to happen for those people who have lost their jobs because their skills are not needed. Okay. So, I just forgot to put that in that answer. Any questions before we go to part B? How can government policies or training programs help workers adapt to their changing skill requirements? So if government can come in and sees that, okay, a lot of people, there's a lot of structural unemployment. A lot of people's skills are no longer needed in the industry. So government can introduce training programs, okay, or policies where they tell companies to train the workers to how to use the new machinery and the new technology. All right. Yes. If those policies and these training programs are implemented, it means some of those people who have lost their jobs because their skills are no longer needed will now be able to get new jobs. It won't be everybody, but at least a subgroup from that majority will be able to learn these new skills. Okay, and once they learn these new skills, they will still be needed within the company to to run these automated machinery in the assembly lines and the way they do the packaging and the production of the product. Okay, so these policies or training programs can help workers gain new skills so that they are still relevant in the industry. They can be the ones who can be running the machines. Okay, the formal answer, which is here, government policies and training programs can help workers move from jobs that are being removed by automation, these jobs that are being replaced by robots or technology, into jobs that are still needed. First, government can provide retraining programs for workers whose repetitive jobs were replaced by machines. Okay, so if you are part of the packaging assembly line and now a machine is doing your packaging, you can learn the skill of how to run that machine that does the packaging, and you'll still be needed then. Okay. So, for example, assembly line workers can be trained to operate, repair, and monitor automated machines. So, once you learn this new skill, you are going to now be still relevant in the industry. Okay. Second, technical colleges and universities should introduce courses in computer skills, machine operation, programming, robotics, electrical maintenance, and data analysis. This gives workers the exact skills required in modern manufacturing. Okay? Yes. So obviously courses on these skills can be offered by certain institutions. Okay? And government can help workers get bursaries so that they learn these skills. Third, government can support apprenticeships and workplace training. As I said earlier on, where government introduces policies to say that, okay, if you're replacing your workers with machines, at least retain some of those workers, let them learn how to operate these machines so that they stay relevant. Okay. Like in the mines, all right, the mines use a lot of machinery. Okay, so now people also have been trained to how to use, repair that machinery. Okay. Fourth, okay, so workers can learn while working with the machines under the guidance of experienced technicians. This gives them practical experience and improves their chances of remaining employed. So when the company teaches you how to use those machines, you stay there. Those who who won't be able to learn those skills, unfortunately, they become unemployed because it's not all the workers who will be laid off that will be retained. No, okay. Maybe that machine it will be need to be operated by just five workers. And you find you laid off maybe let's say 500 workers, but maybe those machines that need to be operated on will need maybe a total of 200 workers. So out of those 500 we are planning to lay off, you can keep 200 and then 300 are laid off. Okay? Because it will be, it's hard to keep all the workers when you're spending money on this new technology. Yes. Fourth, government can provide scholarships, training grants, and transport support to workers who cannot afford the training. Yes. Once these institutions are offering these training courses, government can offer bursaries, okay, training grants, so that people who can't afford these programs can learn. Okay. Fifth, government can give tax reductions or financial incentives to companies that retrain workers instead of dismissing them. Okay, so this is a way of government saying keep your workers, don't get rid of them. We're going to offer some tax reductions, maybe let's say the taxes on the workers or taxes on profits, or they can give them financial incentives so that they keep the workers. Okay. Yes. Finally, the government can also provide career guidance and job placement services. These services can identify workers who have lost jobs and connect them with industries that need their new skill. Okay. Yes, because not all workers will be retained. Others will lose jobs and they'll be unemployed. So with these job placement services and career guidance, these workers can be able to be connected to industries where they can be trained and their skills can be needed. Yes. Any questions, colleagues? Yes, that is question two.